Hi, this is Matt with the Intergalactic Herald. Welcome to my Star Atlas Week in Review podcast. This is podcast number 143. Any articles or videos mentioned can be found on my website at intergalacticherald.com. Just look for weekly recap newsletter 191. So, just a quick summary of stuff that happened this past week in Star Atlas. Pretty much the only thing that happened was the weekly Atlas Brew, where they talked about some developments in the UE5 version of the game. But before I get into that, just a quick things that I'm working on within Star Atlas. One, of course, is my website, intergalacticherald.com. Great resource for many guides and things about Star Atlas. You can find a beginner's guide, directories of Star Atlas guilds, content creators, tools, and things like that. There are also the recaps. My weekly newsletter recap of other content creators. You can also get any of my AI summaries of community events. And then finally, you can sign up and get a email alert every time the Star Atlas team posts in the Discord, Star Atlas Discord announcement. So check all that out at intergalacticherald.com. Do have a Star Atlas merch store, not a lot of selection, but you can check it out at intergalacticgear.com. And then I'm trying to get together a community of Star Atlas gamers who aren't joining guilds. You can check that out at intergalacticcoalition.com. So as I said, there was just basically one event this past week, which is the ongoing weekly Star Atlas Brew. This brew was actually a presentation by one of the team members, Brad, who was talking about Project Gallia and some of the developments there in the UE5 version. They did start out with some news around Star Atlas. Unfortunately, I didn't write any of it down because I guess I already kind of knew about it all, so sorry about that. So we'll just get into this presentation that Brad gave, and it was actually a live demo. He was actually showing some video, but also just moving around within the game. And what he was focusing on is what's been called Project Gallia. Different times it's been shown it's the way to move between planets with no loading screens, so how you can take your spaceship and go from planet to planet. This, and then how there are potentially going to be future quests and interactions. So again, you can go between planets, go down with your ship, get out, walk around with your crew member. So this time was actually more of something they were trying to bring, which is, I guess they described it as a single-player experience. And again, it sounds like this is the next release of the UE5 version. So in addition to normally when this UE5 version is released, you get some new things on the gunplay modes and some of the racing modes, but this is one of the other modes that's out there. So what they wanted to do this time is actually provide, I'm not sure if they meant more like Holosim, but definitely a tutorial type of things, so how you can figure out what to do in UE5. But they also wanted to bring progression, which has been an ongoing thread to a lot of the different aspects of Star Atlas. So he gave a demo of that. He did mention that there probably won't be any crypto integration. So basically you start with a ship and you can do things within this kind of experience to get credits or something. And then those would allow you to maybe purchase another ship. So again, I don't think you're really purchasing, if there's no crypto integration, you're not purchasing an actual NFT ship. But again, within this demo tutorial type of thing. One of the new things that was shown for the first time was the ability to look at one of the HABs. So I'm not sure if, again, this is a crafting HAB or what's the other one? There's another, I guess you could buy something, land HABs. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not sure if they're just using that term, but again, he was able to place one on this rock outcropping, and then you went inside it and had that. So it's kind of showing the same environmental development that we see on the ships in kind of a habitat. So again, but they've used HABs for other terms, so that's why I'm pausing there. He did mention there'll be maybe a series of quests that you could go through here. And it was also showing off a little bit of the planet technology and how that's being done. So then near the end, of course, everybody asked for when, and of course, they're not going to say for sure. But they did say some of the things we saw in this Atlas Brew aren't coming in the next release, but things like a new planet, the intro mission, the quest, and the progression, that is their goal for rolling something out like that. We'll see. They've been, if I remember correctly, during the Star Atlas summer, I think Brad gave another presentation back then too. So again, this feels like the ongoing development of the specific aspect of the UE5 version of Star Atlas. So it was a really great brew in that sense to just see more development and in different aspects of the game. And like I said, that's pretty much it for this past week. Moving on to my next section, the state of Star Atlas for this last week. The zinc testing continues. So if you're involved with that, probably doing your daily check-in and watching how much zinc ZXP, so Zinc experience you've been gaining, doing different things within the Star Atlas environments. But again, this is a test. So far, again, they've only stated that the progression up to level 20 will be moved forward into the real one. Forget on the countdown how many more days are left, but I think it was a 6-week test, so probably we're 2 weeks in. Can't remember for sure. But anyway, so yeah, that's the kind of the big thing within the larger ecosystem. My thoughts on this kind of release, Project Gallia, I think it's a great next development. Definitely shows progression within this kind of environment. This one's probably the one that's more intriguing to me personally within UE5. Nothing wrong with the gameplay, the gunplay, and glad that's there. Nothing wrong with the racing. Glad it's there. But this is definitely more to the things I like, which are the single player, go out and explore and things like that. Yeah, so it's great to see some of the promise of the moving between the planets and the transitioning between ship to crew and interaction and things like that. Definitely like the idea of the goal-based part of it and obviously the single player. So again, I think it's just a great thing. I also thought the fact that they're not looking, at least for this aspect, having crypto integration, only because again, it just adds another level, and I think they've seen Holosim was a great way to get involved. Sure, it's all based on the kind of the crypto. Ulterior thing, just my speculation, yeah, it's a lot more work to add all that stuff in there. And again, the idea that you start out with a ship, you don't really own it, you get to experience the game, and then if you want to, you can go and purchase a real one and then go from there. So I think, again, that's all sounds good and great ongoing development. We'll see if they can get something out before the end of the year, before Christmas break, winter break that they take. So anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much it. My journey playing Star Atlas, haven't been doing much else than just the daily Zinc check-ins. It's pretty straightforward. Wait 24 hours, click a button. Wait 24 more hours, click a button again. You can follow on in the Zinc Discord and the Zinc channel within Star Atlas. And yeah, people are finding things. They're definitely tweaking the, the allocation. All that kind of stuff makes sense. So anyway, so yeah, that's it for this past week. A pretty standard week of a little bit more information coming out and definitely different aspects you can look forward to, hopefully coming out before the end of the year. So just to wrap up, again, totally open if anybody wants to be a guest on the podcast. Please go to intergalactichero.com, look for my contact page, or you can reach out to me on Discord. Again, while you're on my website, intergalactichero.com, do have some other guides, directories of different Star Atlas things, a couple recaps, and again, the Discord announcement feed. If you want a mug with Star Atlas logos, check out intergalacticgear.com. And like I said, love to get together with other Star Atlas gamers who aren't going to be joining guilds. Please check out intergalacticcoalition.com. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. This is Matt with the Intergalactic Herald. Have a great week ahead.